Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy TheMadKaiger, and back here today with another Halo review. Of course, we're continuing on this Halo marathon as of late, and today we are reviewing Halo Combat Evolved. I've just got the anniversary edition here because this is technically the one that I played. I am playing all of the games through the Master Chief Collection, so obviously just bear in mind the experience that I had is playing it through the Xbox One, but of course, I just want to start off by saying something. A lot of people question the Halo Master Chief Collection and say, are all of these games like fully enhanced, remastered and stuff? Halo Combat Evolved anniversary on Master Chief Collection was originally a Xbox 360 game, which was a remaster of the original Xbox Classic game. The Halo 3, 4, ODST and Reach are again just ports from the Xbox 360. I think there's some slight enhancements here just to make it run a little bit better on the Xbox One, as many Xbox 360 games do. The only game that was actually built for the Xbox One in the Halo Master Chief Collection is the Halo 2 the Halo 2 Anniversary Edition. The Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary was again originally on the Xbox 360. That's why I just have the physical version here, just to show it off. Now, I want to start by saying that I didn't actually have an original Xbox growing up. I know I have a modded one here. I know I didn't have one growing up, and I missed out on Halo Combat Evolved. So my first time playing it actually was on the Master Chief Collection years ago. And to replay it again, I've been playing through all the campaigns with my friend through Mixer. Check me out on there. You can see all of the playthroughs on there. If I could transfer them over to YouTube, I would, but Mixer doesn't allow me to do that on my phone. Maybe if I won my laptop, I might be able to find a way of doing it. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below, is there any way of getting those Mixer screens to my YouTube? Will I have to download the whole video and then just upload it like that? I don't really want to do that because it would take ages, because some of those streams are 3 hours and I don't really want to be taking loads and loads of time. If there's an easy way to do it like Twitch, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so I missed out on the original Halo game growing up. I did play Halo 2 on the Xbox 360 because it was a backwards compatible game, and I remember playing Halo 2 with my brother. But Halo Combat Anniversary, Combat Evolved, sorry, I didn't play. And the good thing about the Anniversary Edition is this isn't a remake. All it is essentially the same game, but obviously it has new features. Obviously this version had more features. It had like bonus modes and firefighting challenge stuff. The Halo Combat Evolved version basically fits all into one package on the Master Chief Collection. So it doesn't really matter what version you play. What was really cool about this is that you can actually play this game in both original graphics or the enhanced graphics, which were where it was completely built up from the ground. And all you got to do is press the back button and it will switch straight away. There's no lag, no load time switching between them. Maybe on the Xbox 360 there might have been a little bit of load time, but on the Xbox One it just goes, it's so smooth. And it's really impressive to just see how much work they put into making making the game look so much more presentable. And again, there is a bit of nostalgia there for those people who didn't have the original. So I guess you could play through the entire game using the original graphics on the Xbox One or Xbox 360 if you really wanted to. I personally didn't. I occasionally kept swapping between them just to see what was different, but they did put a lot of effort into actually changing things about. It weren't just like slight in graphics. It was completely completely built up, and you'll see it if you play the game. It's really well done. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've been playing through these games on Heroic. Now, Heroic isn't the hardest difficulty. It's the second hardest difficulty in the Halo series. And Heroic offers a fair amount of challenge. However, I'm going to start off with some of the things I did like about Halo Combat Anniversary, and then I'm going to talk about some of the more nitpicky things that I felt were a little bit, well, I won't say they're bad, but you'll see what I mean. One thing I want to say is that this game was renowned, and it was really game breaking at the time because, I think I can't remember when the original came out. I think it was 2003, I think. It was early 2003. I could be wrong, could have been later, could have been earlier, but I'm just going to say about that time. Now, there were other first-person shooters back in the day. Back in the day, PlayStation 2 ruled the world, in the early 2000s and for a majority of the time. And the original Xbox didn't really have too many games that really stood up to the monster that was the PS2. But Halo Combat Anniversary, Combat Evolved, really took a lot of people's eyes from the PlayStation 2, and people wanted a Xbox. And what was great about Halo is it was something new, of course. I don't really want to explain the story because it's really, the basic way to sum up the story is you're a super Spartan soldier from the future, and you found this planet against the Covenant. There's this Halo ring, and you realise it's actually a weapon to destroy the Flood, which are like these zombie alien things. That's the best way to sum it up. Just play the game. It does do a good job of telling the story, but Halo is one of them games that the story is so out there now. To really get the full story, you just need to do so much. It's crazy. To be honest, I'm not really a Halo fan for the story. To be honest, I prefer them for the game, like I do with many games. But what made Halo so great, and one of the things that I do give it a lot of credit for, was just some of the levels were huge. Back in the days, first-person shooters, if I just pick out another first-person shooter from early 2000s, I guess, Call of Duty, for example, those games were very linear in what you could do. It was a simple get to point A to B. Now, of course, each mission was different from the last, but what made Halo so, I guess, groundbreaking for the time was the fact that these levels were huge, and you had like a big map, an area, and you would have to in some missions you would have to drive to a certain point, do something there, drive to another point, and that, I guess, made the game kind of unique at the time, and it was really, really something I give them a lot of credit for, because I'll give credit where credit's due. Back into the early 2000s, it was very ambitious to try and make a big level in a kind of a linear game. It is linear, but at the same time, it's not open-ended by any means, but there is a sense of exploration to it. Not so much it is an open world game or anything like that, but these levels were huge. Now again, we had games like the Resident Evil games, where a level was one big thing, like Resident Evil 2, for example. The whole game takes place in one building for the most part, even the remake, and there's a lot of backtracking and stuff. So it weren't uncommon for a game to just have one big map and then just split missions into separate parts of that map. And that's sort of what they did with Halo Combat Anniversary. So in a way, it was a genius idea, and it did sort of pave the way for future shooters to do such a thing. And they sort of brought that back in Halo Reach with the sort of bigger levels. It's weird because Halo went for a more linear structure after this game. And I think the only other one that I can think of that had a similar style to this one, with its sort of bigger levels and somewhat exploration, was Halo Reach. So I don't know why. Maybe people didn't like it. Maybe some people did. I don't know. But the game is great. The updated graphics and the graded stuff looks amazing. But one thing I really want to, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, because I enjoyed this game. I really did. But I've got to say that this game took me and my friend longer than it should have. This game has 10 missions. And this game, you can beat this game rather quickly. Now, I know we were playing on heroic, but we weren't dying so much because of getting killed by, enemies. one thing I want to say about this game is once you reach the flood levels, it gets ridiculous. Now, I don't mean ridiculous in the sense that you're just going to get murdered and murdered and murdered because of, you know, you die so quickly on harder difficulty. What I mean is, they just send so many enemies after you. You go through a corridor, there's a bunch of flood. You move forward slightly even more, a bunch more flood. You go around another corner, a bunch more flood. They really took that to heart, really. And yes, the flood are pretty easy to kill. They don't take as much shots as like elites do, or brutes, or, you know, hunters do. So, but it just gets ridiculous on how many enemies they just spawn and spawn and spawn, and it just feels like it's an endurance run. And that's something I really wanted to say about Halo Combat Evolved. It is an endurance run, especially if you're playing on harder difficulties. Easy or normal, maybe not so much, but heroic and legendary, you're going to be in for a long time, because you're going to die and die and die. Not so much because of, you know, you just... The challenge is in the endurance of trying to see how long you can survive, move forward slightly, die. And another thing that I had a problem with is that some of these levels were pretty cool. Like the first level where you go on the Halo ring, you explore, was pretty cool. But then you get into some levels where, like, you're inside of the ship, or you're inside of the Halo, and it's just going through a corridor, going up another corridor, going through a stairs to an elevator, to another set of corridor, and it looks all the same. I'm not critiquing them for the early days of doing that, but it would have been nice in the anniversary edition if they just toned down a little bit on that. Maybe made these sections a bit shorter, because, like I said, it's like an endurance run. You're just going through very similar corridors. Nothing's really changing, you know, just more spawn, just more flood. Oh, another corridor, another load of flood. And it just gets a bit monotonous in the end. And that, to me, doesn't mark a good thing in a game. Now, I want to start by saying that challenge in a video game, when you compare... The best way I can do this, now I don't want to talk about too much about Halo 2 because I'm still playing it at the moment, so the next review will be Halo 2. But in Halo 2, me and my friend started it, and the challenge wasn't so much in the fact of trying to just outlast as many enemies as we can. The challenge is in, you know, it spawns in a certain amount of enemies. So when we're going through an area, it goes, oh, this place is going to have snipers in. The challenge is in spawning less enemies, but tougher enemies. Whereas in the Halo Anniversary Combat Evolved, it just felt like they just try and spawn as many enemies as they can. And it just kind of goes, well, after a while, you just sort of feel like the challenge doesn't come in having tougher enemies. It just throws in more and more and more enemies. And that, to me, doesn't mark that, to me, doesn't mark a fair challenge. That's not really a challenge. That's more of an endurance. A good challenge comes from, and I know they changed it in the later games, but, you know, if you're going on a harder difficulty, the challenge should be, okay, this section on hard or legendary is going to have snipers, going to have the invisible elites, going to have the ones with swords, going to have stronger brutes, you know, whatever. In this game, it's like, we're not going to do that. We're just going to throw more and more and more enemies at you. And again, some people might like that. I personally think it just gets a bit frustrating in the end. Another thing I had an issue with is sometimes the checkpoint system, especially in co-op, I found, can be a right pain in the ass. Sometimes when you both die, because how it works in co-op, if I die, my friend will respawn as long as there's no enemies nearby. But sometimes when you both die, it will respawn you at the last checkpoint. Now, we spent like 15 minutes going through an entire area doing this whole endurance run, and then we got killed, and then it sent us back all the way, even though we made it to a checkpoint. Because my friend didn't make it to that checkpoint, it sent me back all the way with him. And I just felt like that was a little bit unfair. I know the old saying is, you die, you go back. But again, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary was a good game. There are some things that people might be a bit surprised at. The guns in these games are overpowered as fuck. You can kill a hunter in this game with like a pistol in one shot. Everyone knows the old Halo 1 pistol meme. Oh no, he's got the Halo 1 pistol, run! And there's no recoil at all for any of the guns. Again, back in 2003, it's understandable, but again, I could be wrong. It could have been earlier. Let me know in the comments below. I want to say 2003. Something saying it is 2003, but it could have been later. But, everything had to start somewhere, right? Obviously, through the games, when the games got later on, they made it more realistic. And some people might like that. I did kind of like that because I felt a sense, even though I felt I was playing a game that looked like a modern game because I was using the modern graphics, I still felt like I was playing an older first-person shooter because of, the unrealisticness of the game. And overall, Halo Combat Evolved, I keep saying Combat Anniversary, Halo Combat Evolved, whether you're playing the original Xbox version, this version, or the version on the Master Chief Collection, which is essentially this version, just without some things, it still is a great game, and it still holds up. It has some flaws, like I said, repetitive levels. Sometimes one level you go through into the base and you detonate the thing, and then another level you're going back, you just reverse it. It's a reverse of a level you did before. Again, that isn't that uncommon with older first-person shooters or older games in general, but it is just something I was a bit, not frustrated with, but a little bit kind of like some hit and miss things here and there. But overall, it was a fun experience. It just took forever and ever. I can't imagine how long it would have took us if we played on Legendary. That's why we're playing it on Heroic, not Legendary, because I kind of want to beat these games. I beat all the Halo games before, no problem. But to play through them all again it's kind of like a thing that comes full circle. And to be honest, the best way to sum up this game is it does come full circle, because you do something and then you're escaping from something. You go into the building, in the next couple of levels you're coming out of the building. This game starts with you with the Pillar of Autumn and ends you with escaping the Pillar of Autumn. What kind of name? What is that? A Halo ring. What does a ring? A circle. Full circle. Best way to sum up this game. It is a classic, and for those of you who want to play a more modern version of it, definitely check out the Anniversary Edition. And for those of you who are nostalgic for the original, the game still offers the original version on here as well. So it is a great game, and I'd give it maybe an 8 out of 10, which is a good score. Again, those little nitpicky things are just some of the things that I found to be a little bit on maybe not so much the frustrating side, on my sort of side, I guess. Best way to sum that up. But Halo Combat Evolved was a classic game and a very influential game. Of course, the Halo series only got better after Halo 1. In my opinion, the only Halo game that I didn't really think did too much for the Halo series was Halo 4, but we'll get to those as it comes. Anyway, guys, my Halo-thon is continuing tonight, hopefully. We started Halo 2 Anniversary Edition last night, and we're going to continue tonight. So if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like, comment below, and let me know what you think of the original Halo. Did you play it growing up? Have you played this version? Do you think this version is better than the original, or what? And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Mixer at TheMadKaiger. You'll be if I'm streaming tonight, I will be continuing on with Halo 2, and of course the Halo Marathon continues. Who knows what will come after the Halo Marathon? We've still got another. We're only on our third Halo game. We've still got another 4 to go. Well, Halo 3 to go after Halo 2. So. And Halo 5, I'll probably do that as well. But overall, I love the Halo series. Looking forward to Halo Infinite. Doom Eternal comes out next week. Will I be getting it? You know I'll be getting it. Even though it don't have much in the way of co-op, I'll be getting it. I don't know if I'm going to get a physical version for the PlayStation 4 or get a digital version for my Xbox One or PlayStation 4. We'll see. I might get it digital because of the way the world is at the moment. I ain't going to really be able to go out and buy more games, so I'll probably just get it digital to be on the safe side. But anyway, guys, as always, have a nice day, and I hope to see you guys tonight. Take care, and bye-bye.